So you're moving your business to AWS. Awesome. But sooner or later, you're going to hit a really big question. How do you connect your own private offices and data centers to the cloud, securely and reliably? Well, in this explainer, we are breaking down AWS hybrid connectivity to give you a clear playbook for building that exact bridge. And yeah, this is the big question, right? You've got valuable data, critical applications all running in your own buildings, and you want to plug them into the incredible power of AWS. But, you can't just throw the doors open. You need a bridge that's both super secure and high-performing. And that's exactly what we're going to figure out today. Now, the fancy term for all this is hybrid connectivity, and really, it's exactly what it sounds like. It's all about creating one single, seamless, and secure network that stretches from your physical locations right into your virtual resources in AWS. This is what lets you do things like migrate workloads gradually or access on-premise resources from the cloud. It's pretty powerful stuff. So here's how we're going to break it down today. We're going to start with the simplest option, what I like to call the internet bridge, which is your VPN. Then we'll shift gears to the private highway. That's Direct Connect for when you need serious performance. After that, we'll get everything organized with a cloud hub called Transit Gateway. We'll even show you how to combine these for ultimate reliability before wrapping it all up in a simple playbook you can use right away. Okay, first up, the most common starting point for pretty much everyone is the site-to-site VPN. The absolute best way to think about this is like you're building a secure private tunnel for your data that travels right over the public internet. So how does that actually work? Well, a site-to-site VPN basically carves out this heavily encrypted tunnel between your office router and your AWS environment. And even though your data is technically traveling on the public internet, it is locked up tight inside this secure tunnel, which makes it totally unreadable to anyone else. Think of it as your own private armored lane on a public highway. What makes the VPN so popular is just how easy it is to get going. You're using your existing internet connection, the security is absolutely rock solid, and the setup is incredibly fast. I mean, we are talking minutes, not weeks. This makes it the perfect choice for getting started quickly for smaller projects, or, and this is a big one, as a critical backup connection, which we'll talk more about later. But a VPN does have its limits. Because it's riding on the public internet, performance can be, unpredictable. Kind of like hitting rush hour traffic when you're in a hurry. So what if you need your own private, guaranteed speed highway directly into the cloud? Well, that brings us to our next solution. All right, welcome to AWS Direct Connect. Look, if a VPN is a secure bridge over the public internet, then Direct Connect is your own private multi-lane superhighway straight into AWS. This is the premium option for when you absolutely cannot compromise on performance or privacy. So here's the most crucial point. With Direct Connect, your data never, ever touches the public internet. It is a dedicated fiber optic cable that runs directly from your infrastructure right to an AWS location. Trust me, this completely changes the game for any performance-sensitive or high-security workloads. And the benefits here are just huge. Performance, it's predictable, totally rock solid. Security is massively enhanced because your data is just never on the open internet. And the speeds? We're talking another league entirely, from 1 gigabit all the way up to a massive 100 gigabits per second. That is fast enough to handle huge data migrations, real-time analytics, you name it. Okay, so you've got your connections, but now your cloud presence is really growing. You might have dozens of different accounts or VPCs. You can think of those as your own little private networks inside AWS. Well, trying to connect them all one by one creates this tangled, complex mess. It gets messy, right? There's gotta be a simpler way. And there is. This is where the AWS Transit Gateway comes in. It is the elegant solution to all that complexity. If your individual connections are like local roads, the Transit Gateway is the central roundabout or the main airport hub that connects everything together cleanly and efficiently. Honestly, the simplest way to wrap your head around this? Just think of it as a really powerful cloud router. Instead of creating this messy web of connections between all your different networks, you just connect each one once to this central hub. Yep, it's that simple. And this is where things get really powerful, but also surprisingly simple. The Transit Gateway becomes your single connection point for everything. All your virtual networks, your VPNs, your direct connect lines, all your network rules live in one central place, which just drastically simplifies management. This hub and spoke design is really the gold standard for building a scalable and clean cloud network. And you can even link these hubs together across the globe. Okay, now here's a really important thing to understand. These tools are not an either-or choice. In fact, the most robust, most resilient network designs actually combine them. You can use the strengths of one to cover the weaknesses of another. It's a pro move. So check this out. This is the classic high availability setup. Day to day, all your traffic is humming along on your high-speed Direct Connect. But let's say something disrupts that private line, maybe a physical issue. Who knows? The network instantly and automatically fails over to that backup VPN connection we talked about. The switch happens in seconds, and for your users and your apps, the connection never even drops. It's totally seamless. All right, so we've covered the bridge, the highway, and the hub. Let's boil all this down into a simple playbook you can use to make the right call for your own needs. Okay, so this table really lays it all out. You can see the clear trade-offs, right? VPN is all about speed of setup and low cost. It's the perfect entry point or backup. Direct Connect, on the other hand, trades that speed and low cost for maximum performance and privacy. It's a bigger investment, sure, but it's your own private highway. And Transit Connect, it sits right in the middle, offering a super powerful way to manage everything at scale without the high cost of a bunch of individual connections. You know, if you remember just one thing from all this, let it be this right here. VPN is your quick and cheap entry point. Direct Connect, or DX, is your private and reliable workhorse. And Transit Gateway, or TGW, is the scalable and central hub for managing your network as it grows. Simple as that. And there you have it, our tour of AWS hybrid connectivity. We've shown you the bridge, the private highway, and the central hub. The only question left is the one on the screen. Based on your unique needs for speed, security, and scale, which strategy will you choose to power your cloud journey?